everyone, my name is Kimberly and welcome to another day on Ray of Joe K, where each new day is an opportunity to slay. Hope you all are staying healthy, well, and blessed. I know it's been a couple of weeks at this point in time, but I'm just working on a couple of things. Actually, one of those things is my self-care kits, which are now out and ready and available for purchase. This candle that I actually have is something that I included in the seasonal care kit. There's 4 different kits, and of course, you can find all of them. I posted them on my Instagram, so they're all there. Also, this lovely journal. This one is my very own, so I've already written stuff in it, or begun to, but this one is my very own personal one because I find myself always writing, always reflecting on things, and writing is also another thing that I've been working on too, another project. Again, don't be like me and start multiple things at the same time. But it's all going great, but there will be times where I have to take a little bit of a break here to focus on things there, or just take a break to focus on other elements of Ray of Joe K that kind of add to the content, add to the resources as well. So yeah, there's that, but I'm back. And of course, on here, I use this platform to discuss different topics and perceptions related to wellness and self-care, personal care, personal growth. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about why do I talk about different wellness topics? Why do I talk about personal care, self-growth, all of that? And by now I've discussed quite a few topics relating to spirituality or mental health, or occupational wellness and so on and so forth. And I want to continue talking about more topics like nutrition, physical, other aspects of physical health. But I wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about the big picture of what all of this means and what wellness means to me, and why I really made the choice to focus on it as a main driver on my channel, and also why it should matter to you. I love talking about this content. Like, health and wellness is something that I have loved for many, many years, talking about, and of course personal growth. Like, my close friends know any conversations we get into about this topic, like, my eyes just light up. But this content is just like, it's for me just as much as it is for you. So also, why should it matter to you? And today I wanted to speak on health wellness in its entirety, highlighting it as a holistic way of living rather than just an aspect of our lives. First off, when we think about wellness, what comes to mind? And this question was actually something that I posed to the Joe K community on Facebook, which is a closed group. I haven't made it open just because, health and wellness can be sensitive subjects. So I want people to feel safe in that environment, sharing any experiences, stories, or resources that they have. But I got some really interesting responses when I posed that question out to that community, that wellness to them means self-care, mindfulness, a journey of growth and learning, good nutrition and hydration, living an active lifestyle, and building a supportive community. When discussing the versatility of wellness, it covers a lot of different areas. So as far as wellness folks, I don't know if you've all heard of the wellness wheel. I'll maybe try and include a picture of it right here if I can. But the wellness wheel speaks to different aspects of wellness. One spoke is intellectual wellness. So this, I think, more so in terms of mindset and mental growth. Environmental, the interactions that we have with our surroundings, not just external, but also internal. Environmental can range from things like, of course, sustainability, conservationalism on a global spectrum, but then also looking at it more locally, it could be what energies we surround ourselves with. Emotional, of course, where we place our energies and how they affect us speaks to that spoke. Occupational, what we do with our time and energy. It's not just working a job or working a career. It's not just about that. Occupational is essentially, what do we do with our time and energy? What do we put it into? And it can be anywhere from our passions, hobbies, recreational. So I want us to kind of expound a little bit on that. And of course, I plan to talk about additional topics that cover that spoke, not just related to a job or career. Financial wellness is definitely important, especially in this world. When it comes to money and survival, they're very closely linked. It comes down to, where do our resources lie, and how do we better position ourselves in life to access those resources? That's what comes to mind when I think financial wellness. Spiritual wellness, where we turn our attention to for guidance. And I've already included some videos as well that speaks on the spoke a little bit more in different aspects. So definitely feel free to check those out. But where do we turn to for guidance when life hits, especially when life hits? I think it's no surprise that we have ups and downs when it comes to life. So where do we get our strength from to continue on our path or to continue on our journey? Where do we get our inspiration from? Where do we get our drive from to pursue our passions? So all those things come down to spirituality. Physical health, something that we are very, very much aware of. Whether or not we decide to execute on them is another story, but we are very well aware of physical wellness, from nutrition, from exercising, and all of that. So essentially, physical health comes down to how we take care of our bodies, and even encompass some of the other spokes as well. And of course, the last being social wellness. So building better relationships with ourselves as well as with others encompass this spoke of social wellness. And while I mentioned several of these spokes, I do want to emphasize that really all of them aren't mutually exclusive. Like, they're not in a box. These spokes very much interact with each other on a daily basis. A lot of these play into each other, and topics that I may talk about will include multiple spokes most likely. I just try to categorize them as to what spoke speaks more, just to make it a little bit easier, but I mean, nothing's black and white. They all come together to create our wellness lifestyle. Now, as far as my take on thinking about these things, because again, I think when we're presented with it, we think about it as, you know, boxes or categories to tick off. And really kind of the mindset should be pursuing these areas as more of a lifestyle rather than, you know, box to check. Sometimes it might start that way at first, just to get into good habits, but that idea of all of these spokes coming into your daily life encounters, it should eventually become a lot more natural. But of course, to get to natural, you might go through an awkward phase of trying to just integrate better habits into your life. Also, creativity plays into this. One example that I think about is when it comes to healthy eating. When you think healthy eating, you probably think like a bowl of salad. But I love food way too much. My belief is that you shouldn't have to necessarily compromise on taste to, you know, eat healthy. Although I do like salads if they're prepared certain ways. I'm not dissing salads, but I'm just putting it out there as an example. I don't get excited to eat a salad. I'm just gonna say that. I don't get excited to eat that. But can I incorporate like more green eating into my diet? Yes, and in fact I do. So finding ways to be creative in these areas to better incorporate them in your lives is something that's important, because you'll actually look forward to doing them. Also, feasibility comes into play too. Not to, you know, say that look for the easy way out. That's not what I mean when I say feasibility. Feasibility is more so what is going to keep you going with that habit. Consistency in anything wins the day. So the better that you're able to incorporate something into your lifestyle, the better that you're looking forward to doing that thing. It's going to be a better transition than something that you're not looking forward to doing, or something that's hard to integrate into your life, a huge lifestyle change. So as far as the importance that wellness plays in my life, I have, of course, personal experiences, and from a family standpoint, like there's familial histories of, you know, different health issues. So I've been very conscious about health and wellness for a very, very long time. And me, myself, like I'm always looking for ways to better improve myself in different areas. I very much take the growth perspective when it comes to a lot of the different things that I do in life or try to incorporate into my lifestyle. So I also approach wellness in that same light. As far as my fascination of health and its different parts, when it comes to this idea of prevention versus intervention. Now, I've said on other videos before that I am not like a licensed professional, health professional or anything like that. However, I feel like it's very important to discuss different forms of prevention. Intervention is something that we kind of go to when the problem is already there. But I would rather have us also discuss how can we prevent some of these problems, or even turn that trajectory of some of these problems even coming into our lives. So that's where prevention comes in. And I feel that that's something that I feel like we are moving in the direction, but we haven't really quite gotten there yet where it becomes a focus of the conversation. And a lot of factors come into play because of that. One, of course, being that intervention is a very, very much established system in our society. We have hospitals around intervention. We have, facilities around intervention. When a problem is there, they have ready solutions to try and reduce the problem or address the problem. With prevention, it's a little bit trickier. There's not really established institutions, and a lot of it comes down to the individual kind of instigating, because everyone is different. Everyone has different health needs, different wellness needs. So with prevention, the responsibility falls more to the individual than it does to an institution. There's that, and then also this idea of instant gratification. We're very much a society that has become driven by instant gratification. So of course, while yes, we are moving towards a society that's becoming more health and wellness conscious, the instant gratification kind of favors more so the intervention part of health and wellness. Not to say that I won't talk about how intervention kind of maybe plays out in society, but my talks are more so like how can someone integrate something into their world now so it can help better their trajectory down the road. Now, as far as stigmas and dispositions, kind of going back to that personal family standpoint of why I believe so highly about paying more attention to our wellness. Of course, being a member of the Black community, and then also being from a family of immigrants from a third world country, wellness and health has been in the forefront of a lot of conversations, because in the Black community we have certain predispositions that, of course, make us susceptible to more chronic diseases. And then also, being from a family of immigrants from a third world country, access to health resources and health services compared to what we have here is never too far from my mind, because of course we still have family back in Ghana. So that's always going to be in the forefront of your mind, especially if something happens to said family member. Not to say that they don't necessarily have those institutions there, it's just there's a difference of the types of resources that people have access to. Now, I want to go ahead and address the elephant in the room, I guess. I already mentioned this, and I guess it's not a huge elephant, but some of you are wondering, like, why am I even talking about this stuff if I'm not, I haven't really worked in the health field or whatever. And there's many different YouTubers, influencers that actually work in the field, and by all means, I'm subscribed to some of them, so by all means do that. And that's why I take it upon myself as a huge responsibility to preface some of my videos that will go into some of the health, like maybe terminology or specific health issues, like for instance mental health, that I'm not a licensed health professional. I am not a Dr. Mike, I am not a Dr. Yun, I'm not Dr. Mama Jones, like which I think you've guessed who I'm subscribed to at this point. But in the future I would love to invite people from these different fields that I know personally, to add more of their insight on some of these topics, and especially from a medical standpoint. Not there yet, but I would love to collaborate with those people in the field just to add more perspective. But I feel that normalizing these perceptions around wellness and health really begins with us. If we don't take responsibility of educating ourselves and also being more open to having these sometimes tough conversations, like health and wellness, at times it's a very personal thing. I feel that even there's some subjects that people don't really want to discuss, but until we really become open and comfortable with talking about it, we won't be able to get to the heart, get to the root of what is happening with a lot of these issues, and really take ownership of our health care. And if we're not able to really take that ownership, how can we even come to make better decisions about what health resources we want to access, or even like being able to spread that knowledge around for other people to know what access to resources that they have. We can always rely on institutions, but they have spread their focus so far. They're looking for a people rather than the individual. And then also you have policy that comes into play with a lot of the decisions that make access or just knowledge and understanding about our health resources available to individuals like you and me. So I would hope that this channel can at least begin the conversations of talking about these things a lot more. I already can see that it is becoming a forefront in our conversations, like people are becoming more and more open, but we definitely have a ways to go. So I hope I kind of gave a little bit of an overview of just what all this is about, why I'm doing this, and I hope this helped you to understand and just feel a little bit more empowered on your journey. So with that, stay golden, and I'll see you in the next video.